What up, people? Welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, today's deck is going to be not that one. Or no, this is the one, but what? Okay, it's the Necroface deck. Alright, it says Flame Sprite, but it's actually Necroface. Okay, so let's get started on the deck profile. It needs a little work, but in general, it's set pretty good. I mean, I could switch out a few cards here and there to get it a little bit better, but otherwise, it's not bad. I used to run this deck back in the day, um, but I'm pretty sure Necroface was only limited to one when I ran it. Now with two, it'll make it even better and should be faster a little bit. But let's get into it. So, first card is DD Warrior Lady. It's just there to get more monsters out of play, and that'll come in later on in the deck. The whole point is to remove stuff from play. Then we got Necroface. Okay, and what Necroface does is when it's banished or removed from play, both players send the top 5 cards of their deck out of play. But then it has another effect. When this is normal summon, you return all cards that was removed from play, and every card returned to the deck that way, this gains 1,000 or 100 attack points. So it can be a huge DD. Could be. Or a huge beater, I should say. But it's not really what I use it for. Then we got DD Warrior. It's just another, when it gets in battle with anything, remove both cards from play. That's just how it works. Then I added 2 Banishers of Radiance. It has 1600 attack, 0 defense, so you never really want to put it in defense. Never. But when it's face up on the field, any card that's sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Goes with the whole banish. And then I went ahead and put 3 marshmallows in there for stall tactics, because, well, until you get the setup, you gotta have something. Then we have Banishers of Light. It's the same thing as Banisher of Radiance, but as long as that card remains face up on the field, any card removed from play is banished. Or any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. This one is, yeah, it's any card. Yeah, so yeah, they're both, I mean, they're the same, except this one's a defense and that one's an attack. Then Needleworms. Just mill the 5 cards. So there's 15 cards that potentially can be banished. And that's huge for this deck. And then we got 2 Plague Spreaders. It's a failsafe, just in case stuff isn't working out right. I can go into the extra deck and grab something if need be. I mean, if I can get 2 marshmallows on the field and I need something, throw a Plague Spreader down, have 8, and I can go for something like that. Yeah, I mean, so it's. And then we also have DD Sprites. They're also a tuner, but they're not really there for the tuner effect. This one is, I can special summon this by removing 1 face-up monster I control. So say this is on the field, I can banish that and special summon that. Well, if I have like Banisher Radiance or even Dimension Fissure or Macros Cosmos, and wait a minute, hold. It doesn't matter. I just lost my whole train of thought. But if that's on the field, right, and yeah, I can just banish, and then it does return to the field during the next standby phase. So this banishes it, and then it comes back, but it doesn't get the effect of sending all monsters back to the decks, or all the cards back to the deck, because it's not normal summoned. So, but that's where I was going to go. So if it's on the field with these 2, then if I want to synchro and with something that makes it so it gets removed from play and go for a level 5, it gets removed and there's another 5 cards. So it's a mill, but it's a mill banish deck, is what it does. Then we got Dimension Hold. It does pretty much the same thing as DD Sprite. It just select one monster on my side of the field and remove from play until my next standby phase. It does not face up monster, it's just one monster. So I could set that and do that. And then it comes back face down defense. Okay, the Lightning Vortex is just there to get rid of cards, and it lets me discard. Meaning if one of those things that lets me banish monsters is on the field, and I discard that, it goes banished. So it all works. Then we got 2 crossouts, just more removal. A Swords for the stall. There's not a whole lot of stall in this deck. I tried to stay away from stall as much as possible. Then we got, sorry, my allergies are going crazy. We got 3 terraformings, just to get the field spell, which we'll get to soon. 1 gold sark. Gold sark, you target Necroface, and well, there's 5 more cards. And then Foolish Burial. Again, if I can target Necroface with one of the remove from play cards on the field, then there's 5 more cards. It's all about getting the cards in the banish pile. Then we got 2 MSTs, just staples. Book of Moon. If I can cycle these guys over and over, why not? Then we got 2 Gravekeeper Servants. I want to make them pay for trying to attack me, so, and this, I mean, if they attack and I have it so they can banish it, why not? Then we got Dimensional Fissure, which I went in, any monster sent to the graveyard is banished instead, so that's just monster, that's the only problem with it. But then we got Ectoplasma. Okay, this one is a way for me to do damage without actually having to attack. During each player's end phase, the turn player tributes 1 face-up monster on their side of the field and inflicts damage to the opponent equal to half the original attack of the tributed monster. So it could screw me over, or it could really help. Say they get something I just cannot take out, and it's just going to destroy me. They have to tribute it off during their end phase. Now I think some cards it won't affect, but it's just a way for me to get rid of stuff. Alright, and here's the reason we have Terraforming Chaos Zone. Alright, each time a monster is banished, place 1 chaos counter on this card for each of those monsters. And once per turn, I can remove 4 or more chaos counters from my side of the field to target 1 banished monster whose level is equal to the number of chaos counters removed. So, say I keep sending this to the banish pile. He's level 4. Chaos Zone and Necroface work really well together. If it has 4 more counters, I can just bring it back, and it's special summoned. So it doesn't do the whole send everything back. Well, if I can just keep cycling that through, I can only do it once per turn, but still. And this also works for your opponent's graveyard as well. So say they get something huge and they're banished, or not graveyard, but banished pile. Say they get something huge and I have enough counters on here, I can take their monster and start hitting them with it. Or they have an effect monster that I want, I can take it and use the effect with it. It's really good. It gets hit a lot because people realize that this deck just starts banishing stuff and they're like, no, that ain't gonna happen, and they'll get rid of it. That's why I do run 3. Then we got DD Trap Holes. Yeah, when they set a monster in defense, I can destroy it and remove it from play. Oh, I have to have 1 monster on my side of the field too. So, I mean, that also works with Necroface. It's just another way of getting stuff removed from play. I thought about running like DD Survivor and DD Scout Plane, and there's a few other DD cards that really work well with this. If they get removed, they just come back. But I'm not trying to bring everything back. I just really want to keep Necroface cycling back and forth. And then here's the killer card. Inflict 300 damage for each of the removed from play cards. 300 for each of the removed from play cards. They have 20 cards. I can do 6k with 3 of them. That's a lot. So, I mean, if they have 30 cards, that's 9k. That's an OTK right there, but it takes a lot to set up, really. Then we got Interdimensional Matter Transporter. Select one face-up monster you control and remove it from play until the end of this turn. Another Necroface target. Like I said, this deck really revolves around Necroface. I can burn through their whole deck really quick if I can get started with the cycle of Necroface. Then we got 3-dimensional prisons, just more banish. Macros Cosmos. It's just a way to get more cards banished. That's all it is. But this one, instead of just sending monsters, it's any card sent to the graveyard gets banished. So then we got Escape from the Dark Dimension. Target one face-up banished dark monster. Special summon it. When this card leaves, it gets destroyed. So they can target that or that. It'll still get destroyed. And it's a dark monster. So Needle Wall. This is a fun card. I run it in most of my stall mill decks. As long as... No, that's the wrong one. I need Needle Sealing. There it is. Okay, Needle Sealing instead of Needle Wall. Activate when there are 4 or more monsters on the field. Destroys all face-up monsters. Works really well if you have Marshmallow, Needleworm set. You have that set. It's not best if you have that set because you really want everything to get you banished, but it's a way if they go crazy and you have a set monster. So if you have a set monster, that's really good. I was going to put level limits in here, but I'm thinking the gravity binds would do good enough. Because I'm not, like I said, I'm not really focused on stall. So there's really only like 3 types of stall cards in this. You got the level limits, you got swords, and you got the marshmallows. Man, I could have threw Spirit Reapers. I could have threw, let's see, what else could I throw? Like I said, level limits. I could have threw Messenger of Peace. Stuff like that, but really I don't want to just stall constantly. So then let's get to the extra deck. Now this is just, like I said, sort of a fail-safe, you know, if everything's going wrong, break out the extra deck type thing. I'm not going to rely on this unless I just absolutely have to. Okay, we have a Star Eater. Okay, it can't be negated when it's summoned. Card's effect cannot be activated when it's summoned. If this card attacks, it's unaffected by other cards until the end of the damage step. So it's... what is it? It's like those mech cards. Mecha Fortress or whatever. For the most part. Then we got Belizus of the Ultimate Dark Dragon. Now this one I'm not too sure about. I haven't seen it before. But I saw it and I'm like, this one's awesome. So it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. Other monsters you cannot attack once per turn. You can target one monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes 0, and if it does, you gain life points equal to that monster's original attack. Also, any battle damage this card inflicts to your opponent this turn is halved. But it's a 4K beater. I mean, how big is that thing? It's 10. So I mean, it's technically possible I could get it out. I mean, I have a Dark Tuner, and then I have 5 level 4s and a bunch of level 3s and 2s. So I mean, if I keep everything on my field, I could technically get that out and that, but I'm not seeing it. Like, I mean, this thing, it's still a huge monster. I can't even get that thing out. No. So that's going bye-bye. Okay. Bye-bye. Then we got one tuner, we got Trishula. Everybody knows what Trishula does. When it's summoned, I can banish one from the field, hand, and graveyard. Banish. More banish. That's Trishula's good for that. Then we got the other Belize. One dark plus one or more cannot be destroyed by battle of card effects. When you take damage from an attack involving this card, or from an opponent's card effect, this card gains attack equal to the damage you took. So it's like that guy, but better, in my opinion. I like him better. But then we got Red Hot Dragon Arc Fiend. Okay, during your turn, during your main phase 1, you can destroy all other face-up attack position monsters on the field. Other monsters cannot attack during the turn. You activate this effect. Then we got Dark End Dragon. You target one monster your opponent controls. It loses 500 attack, or this monster loses 500 attack, and it destroys that monster. Then Stardust. Everybody knows Stardust. It's been around forever. Black Rose. Blow up the field. Goyo. Yeah, Goyo. Yeah, Goyo Guardian. When it destroys a monster and sends it to the graveyard, I can special summon that monster to my side of the field in face-up defense. So it's handy. Especially if I can get their monster. Like, if I can book a moon something huge that has a low defense, and then attack it with that, I can take their monster, which is awesome. Then I threw this in since we do run Plague Spreader and Necroface. Negate the effects of affect monsters destroyed by battle with zombie type monsters you control. I don't run many zombies, but it's there in case they start running a lot of set defense monsters, like needleworms and stuff like that. I can negate them, so that's good. Then I ran this, which it's one of those cards that I'm not too probably ever going to run unless I'm playing against zombies. It needs a Plague Spreader just like that, and it needs another non-tuner zombie monster, so Necroface. But when a special summon, I can select one zombie type monster in my opponent's graveyard and special summon it. Put it in your side of the field in attack position, destroy it when this card is removed from the field. So it's not bad. It just lets me bring back a zombie monster from my opponent's graveyard and lets me control it. So it's cool, but probably won't be used much. Then Hyper Librarian, it just lets me draw a card. Then we got Magical Android, lets me gain life points, and Castor, or Catastor. That's it, Catastor. Destroy a monster that's non-dark that it attacks. So that is the deck. Let me save this before I forget. Okay, so that's the deck. And I'm gonna get some duels going, but that'll be in the next episode. So if you like what you saw here, leave a like. I do like doing these deck profiles. Like I said before, it helps me get to know the cards a little bit better, but like I said, also this deck I have ran in person, like in real life before, so I pretty much know how this deck works. A lot of people hate it because of the way it works, but it's a fun deck. But if you like what you saw, leave a like. If you want to see more, smash that sub button. And if you have any questions, comments, tips, leave them down there and I'll get back with you. But thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.